Hello everybody, welcome to Break and Remake. I'm your host Joan. Today we're gonna make the easiest gather waist skirt. If you're beginning sewing, this project is for you. This fabric is extra special because it's GOTA certified. I'll have information about that in the description below, but it's organic and it's fair trade. So thank you to Mona Luna for the beautiful fabric. What I want you to do is I want you to take a tape measure and I want you to measure where you want your skirt to hit you. I want mine to hit me low on my waist, so that is 48. Whatever your waist is, remember that measurement. If you need to write it down, write it down. You can wear your skirt higher. Sometimes I like to wear my skirts up here. That's a different measurement. Go ahead and take that measurement. Just remember your number. We'll be doing math to it, but not scary math. Put your tape measure at your waist. Hold it with your other hand. I want my skirt to be about 20 inches where it hits just over my knee. Take that number, my number's 20. It's gonna be different for you, or maybe it's the same. Add 4. My length of my skirt, I'm gonna cut 24. All right, let's lay this out. I didn't buy enough yardage, so I'm gonna have 2 seams, but you can get 1 seam if you have enough yardage to get your skirt out of 1 piece. So you could potentially treat this as a folded edge. I'm squaring off my edge here and then I'm measuring how long I need. I usually only like to cut 2 layers of fabric at the same time. So you can put your fold here and then measure out how far you need to get your waist measurement. I've lined it up as best as possible. Now I'm going to cut my squared off edge. So I've got my squared off edge, or you can go from your folded edge. I'm measuring down how far it is to my waist. My waist was 48, so whatever your measurement was, I'm gonna put a mark at 48 and a half. It's best to add a little bit of seam allowance so you can stitch it together. It doesn't matter when you're doing such a big gathered skirt, but it's nice to get in the habit of doing it so you remember to add seam allowance to everything. Because let me tell you, not having seam allowance after you can cut it smaller, but you can't cut it bigger. Step 2, we've got the width of our skirt. Now we're gonna do the length. I'm gonna measure from the top here. I've just left my selvage, don't tell anybody. I don't mind the selvage. It's a nice clean finished edge. Let's just use it. So from the edge, I did 24. So I'm gonna come down here, I'm gonna mark it at 24. Here's my mark at 24. I'm gonna go across the fabric, making marks at 24 inches to use as a guide when I cut. So here's my marks, I can see them. I'm gonna lay my nice heavy ruler right along the marks, and then now I know where to cut. So now that we've cut our fabric out, we want to finish the edge. I want you to finish the edge. There's nothing worse than like phlegm coming off of the inside of your skirt. So you can either do an overcast or a zigzag stitch on your machine, just getting the edge of the fabric. It gives it a nice clean finished edge. Or if you have it, you can use an overlock or a serger. I call this machine both. It will be either an overlock or a serger. If you can serge the edges, that's great. If not, do an overcast. What do you do now? You've got this huge piece of fabric. I sewed mine in the middle so I could catch up with you. Now what you're gonna do is fold your right sides together. Boop. So what you wanna be looking at is the wrong side of your fabric. Here's the right side of my fabric. I'm folding these together. I'm gonna put a pin here and then I'll pin the other side. So I've got 1 pin on this side. I'm gonna put a pin over here. Then I'm gonna pin it in the middle. Now I know for sure that my edges line up and that everything matches. Now I can pin a little bit more and then start sewing. I gave us 1/2 inch seam allowance, so I'm lining it up. I'm gonna stitch away. I'm gonna press my seam open. So steamy. Someone was asking me, when is the best time to hem your garment? I say when it is the most convenient for you. When doing a gathered skirt like this, I think the best time to put the hem in is before you put the elastic in. If you want to try it on first before you put the hem in it, then that's totally fine. I'm gonna go ahead and put the hem in while it's a flat garment. Grab your hem gauge and let's do this. I've got my 1/2 inch all done. Now I'm gonna fold this up 1 inch for the second part of my hem. I like a nice clean finished edge inside of garment. Now I'll press this out all the way around. My hem is done. We could go sew it, or we could expedite and take care of our elastic casing right now too. Let's just take care of the elastic casing, then we don't have to come back to the iron. The first fold is super easy. It's just the width of the selvage. We're putting inch wide elastic in our casing, so we need to do 1.25 folds. 1.25 all the way around. I'm going to stitch my hem first, but I'm going to pin it so I don't have a wobbly hem. I don't like a wobbly hem. I'm going to line up the inside of my foot with the edge of the fabric so I get a stitch that's close to the edge as possible without coming on to this side of the fabric. Wish me luck. I've got my hem pinned. I've got 2 pins here to let me know to stop at this location because I want to leave a section open so I can pull my elastic through. So I'm going to start here, go all the way around the skirt, and end here with back stitches. I've cut my elastic 1 inch shorter than my original waist measurement. So mine was 48, this is a 47. Let's feed our elastic through our elastic casing. I'm going to put a safety pin through my elastic, close it, and I'm going to feed it through the casing. If you're worried about losing the tail of your elastic, go ahead and pin it to the garment as you pull it through. I've pulled my elastic all the way through. I'm going to pin it together. I'm going to try it on. The elastic is a little loose, so I'm going to take it in about, looks like 2 inches. This is how I like to sew my elastic. I overlap it, and then I do a straight stitch up and down. And then on this side to anchor both flaps. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. We'll see you next time. Bye. I kind of know what I'm doing, so I'm going to go ahead and put the hem in.